Welcome to I Love Stocks. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's raining here in Missouri. We're going to go over a few stocks, and I want to go over a chart pattern that I like to do for reversals. So gather you some popcorn and a little bit of water or soda or a shot of something, and we'll get to talking about stocks. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. We'll give a few more minutes, see if anybody else wants to show up. If you're new to the room here, please subscribe, ring that bell for future updates, for future notifications. And if you like it, hit that like button. But I do this every Saturday for about 2 hours. You know, if there's people have stocks to talk about, I want to give my insight on each one of the tickers. Plus, I'm going to talk about a few stocks that I'm in and I'll be watching next week. But I'm going to go grab my water and I'll be right back. And we'll get started. I think this forum here is more for the ones that want to learn more about charting and the technical side of the trading, that are beginners or intermediate, or you just haven't picked it up yet. Every lesson I do, I like to give a small little lesson on some kind of idea that I'm working on or a case study that I'm working on. And by case study, it means that I'm always trying to keep my mind in groove, trying to keep it informed. So I have many charts that I can use. I have many ways of trading the market. I can trade it on a good day. I can trade it on a bad day. The only times I think I really get shocked, it happens about maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and that's when the market just continuously go down and there's no reversal in that pattern of the day. But I still can get a scalp or two out of the deal. But I think that's probably the hardest part of me is wanting to short stocks and bring them down. I'm always one that's the bull in the market. So I like to chase, I like to play the bulls. I like to look at candlestick patterns. Like I said, I'm a technical trader a lot more than I'm a fundamental trader. I don't even think fundamentals matter much anymore. You have the old fogies in here that are fundamental traders that still trade like they're back in 1920. And then you have the new wave, the retail trader that trades off momentum. And then you have the in-betweens that, like to trade both ways. The fundamental part, look for good companies that are reliable, that they can hold for long swings. So there's all kinds of different traders, and I'm a technical trader. I can trade about anything. You just give me a stock. Eventually, I'll find the right opportunity to buy it and get in the trade. Patience is probably one of the toughest virtues that traders don't have. So you've got to have patience. I still get caught up in the hype, in the showmanship of the way people talk about stocks. And so I kind of have like a laid back approach. Let me see here. I'm going to fix this. Give me 1 second. I don't like how I'm centered on this. I come back here and sit in the chair and my head's way on top of the ceiling here. That should work better. Okay, there's about a 7-second delay in YouTube from when I'm recording. That's something else to keep in mind. But Vegas and I, we run a little chat room. It's called I Love Stocks. We post our alerts on Twitter. So if you're subscribed to our Twitter account and you have a Twitter account, subscribe to I Love Stocks link, and we're posting alerts in here at all times. TLRY was one of them the other day. And then I have a new one that we had a big play of the day yesterday, and that was, it was TLRY. It might have been. Or Boeing. It was Boeing. But there's our link there, so subscribe to that. Miss Vegas is posting alerts in here at all times. And we do have a chat room. You could always sign up. There's a a small monthly fee that goes with it, but we have a lot of good traders in the room. We also have our stock twits. You can follow our alerts in here just in case, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you'll always get my play of the day for maybe even continuation of tomorrow or something I'm talking about when I do a video on the weekdays. But Miss Vegas also has hers right here, so you can always hit that stock twits right there, and you can pull up her account. She's got pretty good following in here, and she's always posting alerts in this stock twits. So let's talk about a chart pattern. I see we only have 3 in here today. That's okay with me. This is a picture I took back in Jamaica. I thought I had my little stock twits on here. Let me see. Oh, I must have got rid of it. There we go. Okay, this is what I call a morning star. A lot of times, like I said, I'm a technical trader, so I like to play downtrends. And a lot of times when I'm looking for a reversal, I'm looking for like 3 black crows or a morning star, doji, for a reversal pattern. Or the same way as I'm looking at the 3 white soldiers, as you see right here, for a downtrend. But a lot of it has to do with that top candle and that bottom candle of the morning star. Now this is a very important chart pattern for reversal plays. Let's say you want to be patient, you're watching the downtrend, and you want to get in on the trade before the uptrend begins. A lot of times you'll see the big old, you'll see the morning star right here. It'll drop down. It's a big old bearish candle. And then you'll see a doji or a spinning top. Or even sometimes you'll see a inverse hammer, which is the body of the candles at the very bottom. And then as long as that other star comes in here, or that other candlestick comes in with the wick at the bottom and the body of that in the middle of the body of the first candle that we had, that morning star, then you'll have a nice reversal pattern. And a lot of times they'll continuate, then you come into like 3 white soldiers and you'll have a little pullback. And it depends on this candle right here, what kind of pullback you're going to get. Now, if this candle here would have stayed in the body of this one, you could have probably had a continuation back up. But you've seen a sign of weakness once this body left that inverted hammer right here, caused it to go ahead and pull back. So this is just one pattern of many that I use when I'm looking for reversals. I like to follow momentum trades. So I'm still bullish on a stock. It's like TLRY yesterday. TLRY had that beautiful run all day long, and then a lot of people didn't mention it in the room hardly at all. And I said, I'm buying the dip. I'm getting in on the dip on TLRY because I have a feeling this thing's going to continue. And I had real good reason for the continuation because I think, they're going to pass maybe legislation on marijuana in the United States, and then Mexico's trying to legalize recreational marijuana, which I think they already have. And that's going to be the biggest market in the world. It could have some good effects and it could have some negative effects in Mexico because you're going to have to deal with the cartel. They're going to still want a big piece of that pie. So that's TLRY. But always remember, looking for reversals, I like to jump in that trade before everybody else does. And let me see what I've done with my... Give me a second here. Yeah, there we are. So that's just one pattern that I like to look at. And then we're going to go ahead and talk about a few stocks. Let's start talking about Boeing. But it's good to learn these patterns. Like I was talking about, I'm a momentum trader. And if a stock has a good run, there's always a second chance for a retracement bounce on the pullback. And usually they pull back to the previous high of the previous day maybe, or even that previous high of that same day for reversals. So there's always opportunities to play these huge runs or these momentum trades. And I usually look for, like I said, the morning star, or I'll look for an inverse, a spinning top, or inverse triple bottoms, or inverse head and shoulders. Double bottoms are real good trades for me in the day on the daily 1 minute. On the daily chart, usually I trade off of the 1 minute when I'm scalping, or I'm looking for reversals, the daily 1 minute. And then when I'm looking for supports, pivot points, and resistances, which we'll go through here in a second, I'm looking at the yearly, daily, and I'm looking at the 20-day 1 hour, and I'm looking at the daily 1 minute. But most of the time I'm looking at the 1 minute because I want to try to catch them pullbacks. And I'm looking for them candlesticks that have the nice reversal patterns. You know, same thing going right here. That's a bullish pattern. Same thing right here. It's a bullish pattern. You see that spinning top. She runs back up. Another example. Bullish morning star. You had the pullback. You had the body of that spinning top in the middle, holding the body there. Bam, you had the breakout. Me, I jump in these trades pretty much before other people do, and I recognize them a lot on the SPY. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Same pattern right here. You got that big bearish candle, and then you got the indicator of the spinning top, or the morning star right here. She bounces up, the body of that candle stays within and above this. Bam, you're taking off. Potential direction is going to be an upward trend. Let me see if I can find some more. Another one right here. Looking for that trend. You had the black crows right here. You know, after a while it's going to consolidate. This is a momentum play. You're always going to have people coming in and selling. Bam. You got the morning star. You got the doji star right here. Bam. She pops up. She bounces up. So those are just a few indicators to look for when you're looking for a reversal. That's just one of many that I use. But I'm always trying to look for these on the daily 1 minute, and you can use these on the yearly daily. And I'll show you for a good example here on let me see. We got an affiliate that we work with, and you can see it on our website, and you get a discount if you join up to their thing. It's called TrendSpider. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or not. But we got Boeing right here. Pull this up to the daily. That's what I like about TrendSpider. You know, they have these chart patterns already labeled. You can go in here and you can look for what kind of reversals you want to look for. If you want to look for the 1, 2, 3 reversal, or if you want to look for 3 black crows, and it'll pull it up when they see these on here. And right now I have set up in here, I have the hammers. And I have the inverted hammer, and I have the morning star, then I have the shooting star, 1 and 2 lines. I mean, they just have so many different technical tools that you can use as indicators. And this is called TrendSpider. And if I remember right, back here on the 25th, this looks a little bit different. There it is, right there. Right here on the 20, right there on the 1st, we had a morning star right here. And that indicator told you that we're getting ready for an uptrend. And if you'd have got in this trade down here right around this 212 area and run it all the way up to how high it went, you would have made a killing on this trade. And I think I mentioned this back when it was down here at this level. I said, you know, it looks like a pretty good buy right here. But this is from TrendSpider, and if you go to our website, You can hit our partners right here, and then it has the Trend Spider, and you just hit this little website thing right here, and you can follow us. You can go ahead and sign up with this, and you'll get a discount and a free trial. And this is for trendspider.com. I use them quite a bit. So this chart that I'm going to be using today is going to be two of them. We're going to have my regular TTM trend. And if you're not familiar, I think I've got a link for this chart down below in the comments or in the content section. This is a Fibonacci setup chart that I use with a TTM trend. Tells me what trend the market's, what kind of they're going in. This is one of the charts that I use. And then I use another one. Let me see if I can find it in here. I use my 200, my SMA chart. The other one had the EMAs. This has the SMAs. And then I have the 20, the 50, and the 200 on here. And I like using this chart a lot too when I'm looking back. And I also traded it in a day trade. You know, for example, on a daily 1 minute, I use this 200 as a support level a lot of times, especially if it holds my trend. You know, I'm ready to jump in it. You know, they bounce up off that, and sometimes they reverse off that 200. It depends on the stock and the momentum, but a lot of times when I see that happen, and I get an indicator telling me that the stock's going to go up, and then you had that huge run. This is TLRY, and I was telling the people in the room, because we had that great run the day before, and I'm still bullish on this stock. I mean, we've had some nice breakouts on this stock. On almost every pullback, history has a tendency of repeating itself. And bam, and I think we're just going to keep moving on up. And the reason I'm going to put a little trend line right in here, get rid of some of this garbage. A lot of times when I want to follow a trend, I'll take and draw this line right here to maybe that second position right there, and then I'll go ahead and continue that to the right. And that'll keep me in trend, or that'll keep me to an area where I might want to buy its support. But as long as it holds this 200, I think we're going to go ahead and move up. Well, I bought into this stock Friday, and I went ahead and I thought it was going to go up higher, so I held it overnight. And then she went ahead and had that drop, that sell-off. To me, I was still bullish in the trade. Well, look what it did. This is what I like about, you know, looking for support levels. You want to try to find a support to hold. Well, there's a real good indication right here that we had this previous high. Now watch. I'm going to draw this trend line through here all the way across. I'm going to show you what happened. And I'm going to change this red because I like this area. I think this is a great support area if it does decide to pull back to that area. Plus it holds the trend line that I have right here. And this is TLRY. So what you got to do is when you have these huge breakouts like this and you miss the trade and you might want to get into it and you want to be patient about the trade. You don't want to say, oh, dadgum, I missed this run. And then, you say, oh, I got to get in. I got to get in. You know, I got to take this trade because it's breaking out. Well, many a times they'll pull back to support level. See, it did it twice. It did it up here too where we had this previous high right here. And I'm using the body of the candlestick. This body right up in here. And then she pulled right back to that area right there and bounced on up after hours. But she did pull back to that solid support area, which I would say probably is the very, was probably the, I don't know. You got a pivot point on this chart, which is right down here, right around 2456. That's a pivot point. This area right in here, why I call it a pivot point is because we held it as a support level, and then she broke down, and then she became a resistance. And then she broke out, and then she touched back again. So that's a pivot point area on this chart right now. And then you have that support level right in here where she pulled back to on Friday. Well, I was yelling at the room. I said, might as well add on, because I did add on. I bought, I think I might have bought it in twice on the dip. And then she had that huge breakout, and I was up five or $600 on this trade, and I decided to go ahead and hold it. And then she dipped on me, so I'm still up about 150, and that's on TLRY. I got in it right here at 107 on the 11th, and then I bought into it twice. Right here, I got in at 274 and 277, which brought my cost down to 202. And at first, I was in it at 325, so that's a pretty, it's a pretty good pullback when you're cost averaging down. And I don't elect to tell anybody to trade like this until you become a good experienced trader and you can recognize momentum plays. But I went ahead and cost average down on it, and then had the big spike on it, and I was up like $400 or $500 on the trade. Right now I'm up 40, 120, and I got in a couple others. I got in CRON because I'm bullish in the weed sector for a little bit. I think we're going to have a nice little place of consolidation where we're going to bounce up and then pull back a little bit. So I got into CRON. Let's see where I am on CRON. So I'm on the March 19th call, and I think I'm down on this one here. Right now I've got 4 of them, and I'm at 74 cents. I did the same thing with CRON. I traded it. I bought 2 right here, and then I bought 2 more on the dip. So that brought my cost average down to 74. I think if this thing bounces up Monday, I'll probably go ahead and get out of the trade because it's for next week. But that's CRON. And then the other one I got in was GE. Now GE had a huge pullback. And I bought GE, about 2 of them at 88 cents. And let's look at the chart on GE. And I'll tell you why I bought GE. GE had a huge pullback. I mean, more than all the way from 1452 to down here to my lower support channel. And I drew this box in here once we hit this little support level, and then I went ahead and pulled on back. Actually, and then I drew that box in, and I got that. And I'll pull up the 20-day from this area right in here, from that previous high. So I'm trying to look for supports. I don't want to rush into a trade. I thought about getting into the trade on this first dip, and I decided, wait, I'm going to give it one more day to pull back. She did pull back to that support channel that I had down here, that previous high, and this previous low right in here. So I figured we'd probably go ahead and hit that, and I went ahead and chalked that in right there about halfway into the day, and that's when I decided to go ahead and take the trade. And then we had that nice little run right up and through here. So I think we're going to go on back up. We got to break this little resistance level at 1274. And you notice when I'm drawing these lines, I'm looking for places of consolidation, places of pullback, and places of resistance levels. Pulled back right here. I just kind of like that in there. And I'd even pull up the yearly chart and look at the yearly, daily, and see where we are on it to my SMAs. I'd like to see, did we pull back to this lower support level? But for right now, we're bullish as heck on this trade. As long as that 20 and that 50 and that 200 stay in this position right here. If not, and we see a sharp downturn on the 50, I'm going to go ahead and hold the stock because I'm bullish on GE for many reasons. He got a great manager. I just love the guy. Love how this guy's running GE. The previous CEO of GE was more or less, to me, a failure. He was a huge failure. He tried to expand the company into all kinds of other entities, and it just didn't work. And so this new CEO is selling off all these entities and sticking to what they know best. And that's going to stick with the green energy and building jets and looking for parts like that. So I'm bullish again on GE, especially with the new CEO. I think we definitely have a target to $14 on this for a reversal play. And once I feel like I'm up good enough, I'm going to go ahead and take my profit. I'm not one to hold something very long. I'm one to take the momentum and play the dips. You know, every stock goes up, it pulls back. I don't understand a person or anybody that can hold a stock for more than 3 to 4 years at a time and not get a move out of it. But I'm going to play the ups and downs. I'm going to play, you know, once it hits resistance, I'm out. I'm back in at support. So I'm tripling my money compared to what someone else is going to do when they hold the stock forever and just wish and hope that stock's going to run. Eventually they're going to run. Anything's going to run, or it's going to dip, or it's going to fail. But I'm taking advantage of the slowdown period. I'm taking advantage of the pullbacks, and I'm taking advantage of the breakouts, especially when they have huge breakouts. I'm out of the trade. I'm ready to buy back in on the dip. And every stock that goes up comes back down. You're the same as vice versa. So that's just the way I like to trade. We all trade differently, and we all got to find a special way to trade that works best for us. And we're going to talk about some stocks. Let me see what else I can talk about. Boeing. So I'm in GE, and I got one more, I think, on my watch list here that I'm in. And that's TLRY, CRON, GE, and BABA. I bought BABA. Let's see where I got in BABA at. I just got one contract at 209. So looks like the last time I traded this, I took a loss. So let's look at BABA real fast. And BABA's getting ready to pay a big fine, which is not much compared to how much money they make. So I think we are down here at a bottom level. We did pull back here once before, and she bounced up pretty sharp. So I'm really liking this area where we are right now. In fact, I think we might be up. Let me see if we're up here. We might be even. Yeah, we're up a little bit from where I got in. The market closed at 231.87, and we're at 232.47 right now. I want to definitely bring this back up to this area at 234.40, and even maybe, and this is just on a day. You know, I see it's going to 235 for a resistance level. Now, and we'll pull up the 20-day, just show you what the 20-day looks like. Thing was up here at 274 20 days ago. This has had a huge hard sell-off. Now, this is what you call a pocket pivot. It's when you have a continuation of a downtrend, then you have like a reversal pattern, a pocket pivot. And she bounced up, and I think this was just a setback right here for another reversal play back up. So I definitely like to take it up here if I could, take it to 240 and maybe up here to 242. But we got a few resistance levels to break. They're going to be at 234, 235, 238 on up. You know, this has had a big downtrend when Jack Ma went missing for a couple months. And then he resurfaced and the stock bounced back up. So let's see if we can keep a higher low and not pull back to this double bottom. If we do pull back to the double bottom, I'll add on to my position. And that I'm in at, so this is one I got to get rid of this week too. Like I said, 208, and we're at 207. So I'm just a couple dollars down on this trade. 209 is my average right here. That's BABA. So let me see if I got anything else on my mind. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Robert. I'll talk about that. I sure will. CCIV, I'll get you there. So it's always good to have your little notepad and paper when we're talking about these stocks. And we're going to go ahead and create a watch list. Let me see where got a watch list somewhere in here that I just started. And how'd you go? There it is. So I got BA on here. I got CRON on here. I got Baba on here. No, I got TLRY. And then I got GE. What's going on here? Okay, let's talk about them. KMPH. For the ones that are new to the room, please hit that like button. We're going to talk about stocks of your choice. I went through talk about a little bit about the morning star and the reversal pattern and how I like to trade a little bit. I'm a technical trader. So let's go ahead and what one was that we're going to look at? KMPH. This is a good support level here on the 20-day. Had a nice little spike up here. What happened on this day right here had to have been really good. So let's pull up the news. I want to see what happened on 3/3. A lot of news came out on the company on 3/3. Okay, it was approved to treatment of ADHD. Yeah. And they got some COVID-19 news down here. Treatment for ADHD. And we got right here, file shelf up to 210, had a shelf offering. 7.9 million shares. Yeah, I like this. So we want to try to find an equilibrium support level here, but let's look at the yearly and just see what we see on the year. Yeah, we're definitely consolidating right in here to a pattern. We're sitting on that 200-day. See that orange line right there? In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see it better. Right there off that 200-day. So that's a bullish, that's an indicator that we could be looking for a reversal. Look, now watch this. See how we found support right here? Then she finally broke out of it. I mean, she had a downtrend on them. Something bad happened back then. But look here how it held support off that 200. All the way up there. 1, 2, 3. I mean, the bodies of the candles were the big indicators right in here. Now the bodies hold up, so that's a real strong support. Plus we got a nice little spinning top doji right here, which we could start seeing a reversal back up. So let's go ahead and find some kind of area of consistency in here. And I'm seeing right in here from this previous high we had right here and these previous lows. I'm looking for an equilibrium. This, to me, more or less is going to be like a pivot point area in the channel. So I want to draw that in a red line. That's going to be the resistance that we want to break on this stock here, KMPI. And it's beneficial for anybody else in the room to write these tickers down too. And you're allowed to save these charts if you like to. When you're drawing them up, you can save them. It looks like it has a lot slower delay than... I'm looking at the video here. But we're on that 200, so I think we can retrace back up, find some resistance here at 1044. Right now we're at 939. So if we can bust past that, we could take it up here to this next level. And it's kind of choppy, but we do have a nice resistance level right in here. From these candles right in here. Now she kind of equilibriums herself right through there. Then we got another one right here. And this will all look different when I bring it down to the 20-minute, 1 hour. What I'm trying to do is I want to get into the trade at a support level. I want to beat everybody to it. Then we have a low support, which is right down in here. I'm going to say off this candle right here, how these wicks touch right in here, and how that body of that candle right there is, same as this one, and the wicks right here for a solid low support at 820. So let's pull up the 20-day 1 hour. See how she looks pretty good. I mean, charted out pretty good. So we want to try to find an equilibrium between here. But that red line at 1044 is what we got to break. If we can bust past 1044, we'll go up to the next resistance levels. That'll be 1085. Then you got another one right in here at, right there at 1119, 1156. Then you got a hard resistance here at 1156. When I say hard, that means it's tried to break that a couple times and just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So that becomes real hard. And if you can not break that, that might be a place to take the profit. Give it a little time. It might pull back to that other support level at 1119 and bounce back up, retest it, and then break it again. And then you got 12 bucks, 12.50 on up. But I think we're down here at a support level with a strong buy, a real strong buy at 817, and a resistance to break right at 1044. That's KMPH. And KPYI, let's take a look at it. This will be recorded, so you can always go back to and look at them. KPYI. KPYI says expanded partnership with metadata mission to develop first-class therapeutics. So they've expanded a partnership. Hit a 52-week low, which is about FDA decision. The daily biotech fee get FDA nod for Pfizer. Okay, I'm going to check one more thing out on this. What was that? KPYI. I'd like to know what size of float we're looking at. 66 million, which is pretty good. This is a nice little reversal downtrend. I think we're reversing up on this pattern here. We're definitely going into a reversal stage. Been nice to get down here at 11 bucks. But for right now, we got a solid support. We're going to raise that bar up. These are 2019 trend lines. These go back all the way to 2000. Was it 19 or 20? 2020. I'm going to go ahead and erase them all. Although they still held up pretty good. So let's go back here and look at the yearly. This has to go back way farther. This goes back 3 years. Yeah, this is 19 trend lines. Playing it back in here. So we definitely pulled back to that support level, but I'm going to clear this all out so I can see it a little bit better. History, these trend lines, I'm telling you, they come back and they pull back. I can use them year after year after year if it's not too clouded up. But a lot of times you have to kind of clean the mess up. So on this 3-year chart, we're at a pivot point. We're at an equilibrium, a pivot point right here, where we had this pullback. We tried to have that little gap there. So we need to break that to move on up. This is a 3-year weekly chart. And I went back on General Motors, 20 years to find resistance levels. 20 years. And I'll do GM because I'm bullish on GM too. Very bullish. And I've been watching GM for over 15 years. I've never been bullish on General Motors, ever. I think it's about the worst company out there. The worst. I'm trying to find some equilibrium in here. Let's just go ahead and call that. We'll draw this one more up in here. I'll show you why when we do General Motors in a second. Let's bring this up to yearly. I'm looking for places of pullbacks. Right here is one of them. Then I want to follow it all the way across. And I want to see if I can find an equilibrium. But I like, and I see this right in here too. See how it pulled back to that previous body of that candlestick right in here? Right here. See that? See that? We had a nice little sell-off right in here. I mean, this is beautiful. This went on for 6 days. Then we had that inverse. We had that hammer right here. And it took her a couple days to realize I'm going to break out of that pattern and become bullish. We did start to ease up above that a little bit on Thursday, and then she had this little hammer right here on Friday. So I think we're ready for the reversal back up. And we're going to put a line right in here on the yearly. And I'll find one right down in here. I got to try to find me another spot. Then we're going to take this to the 20-day. Is there anything I missed in here? Anything I need to fine tune? Yeah, this is a beautiful reversal pattern. And actually, if we can break this 1316, if we can bust past and we pull back to the support level, which is going to be, I'm going to adjust this trend line right here to 1253. So that's going to be like our first support, and our strong buy is going to be down here at $12. If it dips down to 12, runs into that 50, I'll probably take it and run it back up to 13 and see if we broke that 13. 13 is going to be a hard resistance to break. If we can bust past that 200 SMA on the 20-day, 1 hour, we'll bring it up to the next level up in here. And then we've got this little resistance level at 1339, using the bodies of the candles, to 1369, to right around 1410. And then you got an equilibrium right up in here, right around the 1444 area. So pullback support no lower than 12. That's where you want to get in the trade. I'm going to set my alert a little bit higher than that. I'm going to make it 1210. If they ask. So I got a little alert set at 1210 to buy the trade and at least run it back up to 1253. And if I can break that, then we're going to go ahead and go up. There's a nice little see that, how that held right there, that 1292 area. But we do need to break this resistance level of 1337. And if we can get past that, we'll move it on up to 1369, then that 1410. So I'm bullish on it. I think it's definitely a nice reversal play. We've had 5 good days, so that 5-day rule comes into effect. We could pull back, like I said, to that 1253 and maybe that 1210 area for a strong buy. That's KPYI. I hope that helped you out a little bit, Robert. Good morning, Amanda. CCIV. We're real bullish on this one. I don't think we've seen the lot of this yet. I think we are on an uptrend. EV car sector had kind of a hit there for about a month after that humongous run. Even Tesla took a pullback, and what a play of Tesla. I'll talk about Tesla too. But CCIV, I'm bullish on. I like this company, and I think it has a long ways to go up on an uptrend. So we want to kind of try to look for support levels. Now I've got my 2000, I've got my 2020 trend lines on here, and we're going to pull up a year just to have a look at the year. So we did have a nice little run on these trend lines, and I'm going to go ahead and erase them and start fresh because I want to kind of clear this out, see where we are. We have a low support, no lower than this $21, $22 area. That's going to hold if it does pull back. We got to break this 50 SMA and run it up to the 20. We had 3 black crows right here. We had a little reversal pattern where I think we can start to trend up. I'm always spotting candlestick patterns, and I'm spotting chart patterns. You want to become a successful day trader and buy at support kind of person, you want to look for candlestick patterns, and you want to look for chart patterns. And I study them on a daily basis. You know, I like to get into the trade before everybody else does. You know, I can trade a run, I can trade a pullback, I can trade a Darvis box that goes sideways. You know, I've been trading them for a long time, just didn't know what they were called. But they're called a Darvis box. And he's got a professional in our room that trades Darvis boxes only. So he's been a big help to a lot of beginners in the room. And me. Kind of opened my eyes up on a few things. So we got a little resistance level right here at 2770. And then we got a little support level here at 2416. I got it off this candle right here. And then we're going to have us a hard, long resistance level. I think it could be at 3573 area, right up in here. Anything above that's going to be a gift, and it all depends on the news. Lucid Motors set to go public in SPAC deal, $24 billion. Lucid has an obligation to build Saudi EV plant. So we're going to draw one more trend line right up in here. And then we're going to go to the 20-day. I better put one right here too. Yeah, it's pretty well charted out, pretty much. We got an uptrend going on with higher lows. We did hit kind of a little ascending triangle here in the last 3 days. So we're due for another breakout. I'd like to see this 50-day cross up. Your low 3 support levels are going to be low 2213 for a strong buy, 2416 for your second support, and then that first one here at 2569. Resistance to break 2770, and then you've got that pivot point. That's a pivot point on the 20-day. The 2770 is the pivot point. So pivot points are strong. Once it busts that pivot point, we could run into resistance levels. This pivot point, if we do bust resistance levels, will become a strong support. So 3 resistance levels after that's going to be 3048, 3263, and 3573. And then you could get it up to the long area as a gift up here right around $40. And who knows? But I think we're in a reversal. If it does have a sharp little pullback, it'll retrace back right back up to this pivot point area of 2770. That's CCIV. You're going to what? You're going to take off half within 3 months. Time to load the leaps. There you go. There you go. Mr. Happy, glad to have you in the room. CCIV. And then we got TIGR. We called this down under $10. And look at where it is now. 24 something. Had a nice little run. And this is down here right around the $5 area. It's had a pretty good run all the way up to around 38 something. Huge run, huge run. I'm going to go ahead and clean all these trend lines out and start fresh. So we did find this little double bottom area right in here, pretty much. Kind of held above, had a higher high. This is TIGR. I think we're in a place of equilibrium where it's going to kind of just go diagonally and then build a flag. This is a starting of a pennant flag where we had the big breakout, and she'll go up a little bit more, maybe to right around $30, right around 28, somewhere in this area, 27. Here to about 28 is what I'm seeing for resistance level. We're going to go back to the previous high that we had on this yearly chart, which is right in here, the body of the candle, 1918. Then I'm going to just go ahead and try to find, here's another one right in here. I'm just matching these bodies. So history repeats itself. Then we'll get one more right in here. I don't think we missed much in here. Let's go to the 20. So that pivot point area is right in here between this and this. I'm going to say this is the pivot point. I always look for a pivot point. Have you noticed that? So we're at the pivot point. It's going to decide what it wants to do. Right now we're forming a little bitty upward trend that happened on Friday. It did have a nice little sharp pullback and then retrace right back up to resistance level. So TIGR, it's kind of a hard one to say. I'm thinking down here, anywhere down here in this area between 1918 and 2023 is going to be a very strong buy. And I'm going to color that in. And it's good for you to set your alerts on these, just in case they do pull back to that area. And it's where patience kicks in. I mean, we're bullish on TIGR. I think that's what I call this stock in a way, TIGR. Had an inverse head and shoulders right here. Inverse head and shoulders. And I kind of like these runs. They happen in about a day period, and then you have a pullback. Day period, and you have a pullback. 2-day run, pullback. And have a pocket pivot right here. So resistance we got to break is going to be right up in here, right around the 24.48 level. Whoops. Right there at 24.51. 52. I'll compromise. So that's what we got to break. When we break at 24.52, we're going to go higher on this trade. If we can break that, 24.52, we should be able to get this stock back up here right around the 26 area. 26.83. If I'm going to fine tune it. Right here at 26.83. That's going to be a hard resistance to break. And then she can move on back up. But we have a low support, no lower than 1918 to 2023 for a buy, for a strong buy. Your second support channel is going to be between 2107 and 2184. And then that first support channel is going to be right here at between, I'm liking this spot here at 2250. And I like this at 23.23. So it's going to be kind of hard to decide here. strong buy down here for sure. That second support channel between 21 and 2184. And then you got your, let's do it this way. You got your first support right here at 2318. The second support channel is going to be here between these two areas right in here between 2184 and 2250. That's going to be your second. Then your third support is going to be no lower than that 2107. And then a strong buy between 1918 and 2023. But I think we're ready to have a breakout. If she decides to go ahead and retest and break resistance at 2452, we could easily see 2683. That's Tiger. I like it. And I'll be watching it next week. I need to go ahead and put that in here. And then what was that other one we did? KPTI. Okay, next. TIGR. KPMH. We did that one already. Low float of 71% short. Oh, okay, thank you. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome to the room. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Could you please do JKS? Yes, I will. And then we're going to look at Tesla. Tesla's my favorite trade of all. It's so easy to trade. See what kind of news they got here. Shares of several companies of broader technology. Last week sell off. Sharply higher on Tuesday. A drop yields rebound in the sector. For obtained satisfactory national PV module testing. See, I don't understand half this stuff. Floating solar panels. So it's definitely a green energy stock. Partnership with Tony Project Investment. Let's check out one more thing here. What were we looking at again? JKS. $42 million float. See what kind of website they have. China. So we got a China stock here. It's good to see China starting to really think seriously about green energy. They're doing a lot of good things. They're putting a big boost in the EV car business, and they're the biggest. Actually, they have more EV car companies in China than they do throughout the whole world. I think there are like 200 of them. So yeah, I'm bullish. I'd be bullish on this. I'm a little, being as we got an appeasement president with China, I think China will be a good trade for the next couple of years. So let's look at the chart here. Let's look at the yearly. We did bounce off that 200 a couple of times here. So if we pull back to that 200 again, that's going to be a strong buy. Now, you set this up on a yearly, daily 200 SMA and a 50. Now, I use these quite a bit when we have like pullbacks, and I'm looking for supports and resistance levels. I can always run it back up here to resistance, and that's where my last trend line, I put it in here at the first of the year. We didn't pull back very much there. I mean, we did pull back quite a bit to that 200. So we got a little resistance level right here. Whoops, that ain't what I wanted. This is JKS. Got some resistance right here from this pullback we had and had that nice run. I think we're ready to retrace back up, to tell you the truth. But I want to try to find me a little idea. I want to get in this at a good level, right? So I'm just drawing a few trend lines in here right now. I'm matching up bodies of candles. Then I'm going to go to the 20-day 1 hour. Very bullish pattern working up here. Nice little trend up. And we almost busted out of the trend right there. So we did kind of have a little weakness right in here when she had that nice little breakout. That's a good run, 44 all the way up here to around $50. Going to pull back a little bit. Found an equilibrium from the previous high we had right here at 47.92. What did I count? See that right up here, right? Yeah. 47.87. And then another one right in here. So let's look at the daily. We've got a resistance up in this level, up in here to break. Then you got a gap that takes you up in here. Let me see where I'm looking for. I'm looking for the 20-day. Got that. One daily, 1 minute. There's support level right here at 47 something, then resistance to break right there at 49.91. See, you know, it did break out of it a little bit, but we had more consistency right here to find resistance level. So I'm thinking, let's go back and look at the 10-day and see if I can get a little different picture. I wish I'd seen this down here. That'd have been a nice little double bottom play right there. Right around $38. That nice little run. Still wants to break out, pulls back. So we got to break this double top at 50.31. I think strong buy, no lower than 47 from this previous high we had right here. So I think that's where I'm going to, just in case we have a pullback on it first thing in the morning, you can retrace it back up to resistance level. That's between 49.91 and 50.31, somewhere in here. If it pulls back to this support level of 47, that's going to be your strong buy. Your third support right here at 47.87, second 48.45, and then that first one at 48.97. But I'll tell you what, if it pulls back to this area right in here at 47.87, between this channel, these two channels right in here, this is going to be a very strong buy for retracement back up if you want to get into the trade on the pullback, if it happens. To hold trend, now here you have another little trend right in here. It runs right into about the 48. So yeah, between that 47.09 and 47.87, that's going to be a very strong buy. And then you got your second support right here at 48.45 and then 48.97 with a resistance to break at 50.31. And then you can bring it up to this higher sector up in here, and that'll take you up to right around this level at $51. But I think this will, like I said, the catalyst is Joe Biden for China right now. And China stocks are in play. So we got to break this 50.31, and then we can get up to the higher resistance levels. But I think that 51.31 to 51 is going to be probably the place that needs to break to bring it up to the 52, 25, and 53 area, with a sell right here, right around 54.04, if it decides to go ahead and run up. It might take a week for it to do that. But the pullback strong buy is going to be right down in this area if it does pull back between 47.09 and 47.87. And that's it for JKS. I like it. I'm adding it to the watch list because I like this one. And next one, SHOP. Hello, June. Don't forget to hit that like button. SHOP is another good one right here. I'm going to step away for a second and get me another water. Put the headset on. Habits are hard to break. Act like I was coming in here and going to work first thing in the morning. Okay, so we're definitely having higher trend on an uptrend. This was hit pretty hard too in the pullback, right around 12:31. Let's go to the 20-day real fast. Let's look at the yearly. Yeah, she pulled back to a good support level. So we're going to clean this all up. Right in here. Let me see where that... I'm looking at this peak right here. And then I want to bring it down just a little bit to match up with some other trend lines. This one, this candle, this area right in here. See, it's just a positive little pivot point area. A little solid support. I think you're ready for a reversal back up. You notice it hit that 200-day here last week or last Friday. See how that hit that 200, bounced right back up? You know, that's a pretty good little spread right there. Between 10.25 all the way up here to 11.72. So let's draw a trend line right here off this candlestick right here. How it lines up with all these others. And another one right in here. Right here. This area right in here. And it matches up to that. Then we got another resistance level right up in here. So we'll just stop right there. I think this thing can retrace back up to the 50. Then that's going to be another hard resistance to break. If it does break the 50, she'll run up here right around the 1280 area, 1278 something. So let's look at the 20 to see anything else I missed. Just right here, we got to put this trend line off this candle right here. We got to have that in there. Let's look at the 20-day. You know what this is? When I talk about stock patterns, I want to see if anybody in the room can tell me what kind of pattern this is once I get done drawing it up. Tell me if you can tell me before I draw it. Anybody in the room tell me what this pattern is before I draw it up? I have another look at it. Come on, somebody say something. Now, once I draw it, I want you to tell me what it looks like. Now, tell me what this looks like. Anybody know what that is? It's called an inverse ascending triangle. Coming in on a downtrend. This is a bullish pattern. So we're getting ready to squeeze. And I think either Monday or Tuesday we're going to break out a resistance of 1155. That's what I'm thinking. This is called an ascending triangle. I'm always looking for patterns, which is telling me that this stock's going to be bullish into next week, and we can run it back up here to the pivot point on the 20-day, which is right here at 1235. Right there. So let's see what happens when we look at an option here. So I'm bullish on this. I think strong buy no lower than 1270.53. So if you have patience, write that number down. We hit 1270.53, 1270.70 something, somewhere in that area. Buy it. Buy it. I think it definitely retrace back up, but I think we're going to break out of this resistance, out of this ascending triangle at 1155.15 and run it up to these three different resistance levels, with a hard one being here at 1235.28. So let's look at the option here. The 19th, if we wanted to scalp this, be looking at the $1,200 strike. $1,200 strike at 13 bucks, or maybe this one right here, 11.50, if you can afford that, at 28.15. But I'd probably go for this $1,200 one if I was to go ahead and want to trade this trade. I'd be looking at that $1,300 strike. Now you can definitely, if the momentum's picking up and there's a lot more volume over here, I think you can go down to these lower issues. But this, to me, this $1,200 would be the good one to get into and maybe make about $500 or $600 on this option. That's going to be shop. And that's for March 19. And I want to talk a little bit about my challenge account too. I do have a challenge account, and I'm up 341% at the first of the year. It's a flag, all right. Ascending triangle is correct. So we got shop out of the way. I think it's a great trade. I think we're definitely bullish on this stock, 100%. Pullback at 11.05 is going to be a strong buy. How did I get that in there? Strong buy right in here. As long as it holds that trend line, if it pulls back first thing in the morning to that 11.05 area, and you're able to get in it at that price, you at least, I guarantee it, will take it to 55. And then if you can break that, we're going to run it all the way up to 12.35. Easy. That's how confident I am in shop. Just because it has a pattern. You know, it tells me that it's ready for a reversal. SEEL. Boy, what a trade SEEL was Friday. I forgot all about I was in it. Someone reminded me in the room. Once I see those up, you know, I got out of the trade, and then it had a nice little breakout, and she's pulled back. She had a nice little breakout to that area right there. So let's go ahead, and we're looking at SEEL right now. Let's go look at the 3-year. We've had some 3-year highs back up in here right around the 22. So I'm going back 3 years, you know, to find these resistance levels. Right there at that 1366, where that 200 is. And we got this one right up in here at, oh hell, 21 something. Then I'm going to try to find something in here. I'm going to play it with fire in here for sure. I like this level right here where we had this consolidated area. Right there. Then another one right up in here. That's pretty accurate right there. So let's go to the yearly now. I should have erased all this crap down here. Man, what a breakout. Nice gap up to boot. I see an equilibrium right here at 339 for a strong buy. Strong support level. That's where I'd like to see it hold. If it does decide to pull back, now what kind of news did this thing have that caused us to run so big? Remember what kind of news it had? Earnings? That's what it was, wasn't it? They got a buy rating to 14 bucks. Somebody else down here raises it to 6, which is probably more suitable. More 14 bucks long, because I can see it going there, because we've been there before about 3 years ago. What's this? Therapeutics completes. Patent enrollment of SLS proof of concept study for treatment of suicidal patients. Yeah, I heard there's been a lot of suicides with COVID, even in the children. More kids killing themselves than what I heard in the news the other day. Because they're not able to go out and socialize and act like humans. Kids don't know what's going on. So yeah, I kind of like this one here. We had such a big gap up, I just have to say we're going to have a pullback to support level. And we're going to be looking at them here on the 20-day. This 430 area is another one. I'll show you why here in a second. Because we had that high right here, see? So that's going to be like your very first support level. Let's look at the 20-day and see if I missed anything. Yeah, pretty much right on. Okay. We had this previous high up here on the 20-day at 430. So I really like that to hold. Now, if this doesn't hold, the next support level is going to be right down in here at 377. I'll show you why here on that one too. 377 was these other previous highs we had right in here. And we almost touched it right here. No indicators right here. Then we had this little consolidated area right here. So let's look at the daily 1 minute. Got to get that resistance levels. And then got another one right in here. Look at the body of this candle and that. Now, a lot of people might think, every once in a while I'll get an idiot out there said, them lines don't mean nothing. And I kind of look at him, I said, well, you don't know how to chart then. You're just a pump and dumper that like to follow the pumps. Before you become a good trader, you got to learn how to chart. And you got to know the fundamentals, and you got to watch that money flow. Now here on the right here, you see a spot right in here? My money flows in the tape. I like to watch the tape. Okay. So it's kind of a choppy trade. It had another little wedge right in here, almost an ascending triangle. Bullish, because you just go a little bit higher on these higher lows, and look what happens. Bam! And she pulls right back to that previous high. So if you missed a trade and you wanted to scalp it, you look for that previous high support levels where we had this triple top. And she pulled right back to it, and she held it all day long. So that's a real serious support level. The next one's going to be right down here at 408. And if that doesn't hold, we'll see 377. And then I think we can retrace back up. Back up. Resistance to break is going to be this area right in here, where we have these two bottoms off this head and shoulders. That's called a neckline. This is called a neckline. And that makes it a real hard resistance to break. And if we can break that 476, we'll get up here back up to the $5. Then you got 534, 561 with a double top break at 583. They got a $6 price target. I believe that before I believe the 14, unless I wanted to hold it for 3 or 4 years, maybe see 14 out of it, out of a good pop or two. And it could happen sooner, because the way these stocks have been running for the last year and a half, they've been just, the retail trader has made a big difference in the market. The big difference. More competitive with the fat cats. And I see a lot more momentum in the market since I've been watching it for the 15 years, 16 years. And I was one of the very first people to have a chat room. And it was called the Penny Play. And then we had another chat room that we moved on and formed another one called Wise Trades. And then I built a chat room of my own called Wash Stock Talk. Wash Stock Watch. And then I met Vegas and we formed I Love Stocks. So we had this ascending triangle right here, and that's going to be like a good little support level. But I had the first chat room back in 1904. 1904. That's funny. 2004. I ain't that old. $1904. Sometimes I feel that old. So, SEEL, I think I'm having just a difficult time here trying to find a real strong support level. I think we're going to it's just this channel right in here is what I got to try to find. So these are going to be your strong buy at 391, 409 for your third. Second, it's going to be at 430, and then if this 443 holds, we can retrace back up and try to break resistance right around 508, and then that double top at 589. And that's how I look at SEEL. I'm going to be watching it definitely Monday, because breakouts like that, you'll have a dead cat bounce, you'll have a pullback, and that's exactly what happened. It's kind of found an equilibrium, but it's descending pattern, just the opposite of that ascending pattern I showed you earlier. So it still could have a nice little pullback and then retrace back up. And I think that's how it's going to play out. SEEL. I could be wrong. I hope that helped you out a little bit there, Mr. Happy. MVIS might be a little confusing. Here's another one, had a nice little pullback from the high. 20 days ago, we were up here at 24.18. Someone messaged me privately in the room, and I said, that's going to be your hard resistance. If we can't break it, we're going to pull back. And that's exactly what we did. We pulled back from 23.59 all the way down here to this line right here. I wonder what this line represents. So let's go back and look. Let's go back to a year. See what this line represents. The line represents a trend that we had right in here. Okay? And we did pull back and hit that trend right there from the breakout. So this is something when you're chart, and I'm going to clean this up because I got so many years on here. I've been following this for 3 years. This is 3 years of trend lines. Okay? 3 years. Maybe 4. Because I probably chalked these down back in 2019. No, it was back in 2020. This was first of the year. Then I changed them to yellow. So let's go back to the year. Let's clean it all up. Just getting too nerve-wracking. So I'm going to draw some new trend lines in here. Right here is a real solid, right there, right in here. Got another one right in here, this right there, and then another one right here. We've had a nice little 5-day run. So a 5-day rule takes effect. I'm bullish on the market into this coming week too, I think. I would like to stay bullish on the market. With the new stimulus package coming out, you know, wasted money being spent. We're a bunch of selfish and greedy people. And we're not thinking about our generation of children under us that are going to have to pay for this. Okay. So we got a support level right here at 1537. That's going to be a strong buy. Where we had this previous high, that's definitely going to be a strong buy right there. Right there at 1537. Let's pull up the 20-day. See what I missed here on the 20-day. We're definitely on a trend up. Resistance to break is going to be this 1803. See where we tried to break it a few times, where we pulled back a couple times right here. So that's going to be the resistance to break. Then you got 1917, 2004, and then another hard resistance right up in here, right around the 2117 area. Got a golden cross forming on the 20-day, which gives it a bullish. That's when the 50 SMA crosses the 20. That's called a golden cross. And we had a death wish right here. Look what happens when you have a death wish. We have substantial pullback. That's when the 50-day crosses down over the 200. We pulled back pretty solid. Found a little support level, bounced up, couldn't break resistance, the previous high, and then finally she pulled back, gave up, and then we're back up here to resistance level. So we got to break this $18, 1803, and if we can, I think we can take it up to 1917, and then have some resistance right up in here, right around the 2117 area. So I'm bullish on this. But I see a strong buy down here at the cross at 1525, 1528. 1616 and 1703 are your support levels, with a resistance to break at 1803, long to 2107 to 2370. And that's MVIS. I hope that helped out. X Steel Company. It took a big hit once Biden was elected. We're going to look at this here. She had that little pullback. Let me see. No, this, it had the nice run, and it ran on an infrastructure bill. So that's the daily, yearly. What am I not looking at right here? Yeah, there we had the pullback to double bottom, which was a real strong buy. So now we're topping up here at resistance levels again. So if we needed to break a resistance level, it could pull back to this 2387 area for support from that previous high that we had on the body of that candle. Right there and right there. Now I'm going to go back a little ways on this, go back 3 years. So we can get a lot higher on this stock, especially if they pass this bill. They're talking about a lot of money for infrastructure. I think we can break this double top area, and that's going to be right around that 24, what'd I say, 24, magnify it, maybe I can see it better that way, 2431. If we can break 2431, we've got a whole different channel to break up in here on the 3 year, and that could be up here to 2781 with a resistance to break at 2572. And I'm going to put a couple more trends in here. Let's go to the 20-day. So we got 3 support levels to hold: 2387, 2327, and then right down here at 2263. That's what I want to see hold come next week. This area right in here, 2263, is going to be a very strong buy in between that 2246 and 2263. And I like to see it keep momentum and try to break resistance level at 2431. And if that happens, you can see 2572, 2781, and then start to really get nervous up here at 2931 and 3087. So does that make any sense to you? I'm bullish on it. I think we need to pull back a little bit and then retrace back up and break a double top. So pull back and then come back up here and break this double top. Or she'll just go ahead and break out and run up to that 25 area. So that's X. Boeing. Hello, Kevin. We talked about Boeing, but I want to talk about it again. Or did I talk about it yet? Yeah, I talked about it a little bit. No, I did not talk about Boeing. Talked about it in my... So we're bullish on Boeing, BA. We're definitely bullish on Boeing. Now, this had a great pop on it, and I was watching the news, and all of a sudden they come out with a bunch of negative crap. When it had the big run, I forgot what they were talking about. Partners, I'm talking about the overhead. Boeing has a lot of overhead. You know, they're still got a lot of work to do. Then the next day comes out, somebody wants to buy a bunch of 737s, MAX airplanes, purchased 24 of them. And then some other news came out too about. So we're just in the beginning stage of this thing to really break out, in my opinion. I'm not going to listen to the fat cats downgrade it. They're going to downgrade it, and it's going to pull back a little bit, and then we're going to have a nice little bounce back up. So no lower than this 56 area, 256.50. If you come in Monday morning and it's down, it's going to be a buy. It's going to be a strong buy. If you're in the trade, I wouldn't worry about too much about it, because I think we're going to hit our target of 275 and then 300. We had a target of 261, if I remember right. Vegas will remind me of it. I should have not erased them trend lines out so fast. I had this all charted up. And there's a support level right here and a support level right here. Then you got one more right here. We're going to change this. This is the 20-day. Now I want to go back, and I'm going to show you how I found the resistance levels on this chart. Had to go back 3 years. So you're looking back at 3 years, you got a real strong gap to fill. And we started filling the gap. So we could run it to the 200 on the 3-year weekly chart, and that's right around this 288 area. But actually, your hard resistance, well, I don't want that there. Yeah, I'll take it. 286.03. Actually, I'm going to lower that down. I'll show you why here. Remove drawing. This area right in here, where this candle is, right there at 280. That's what I'm talking about. Then you got a gap. It'll take you all the way up here to right around the $300 range. And I think I heard a couple other traders talk about the $300 range. Now I know all the fat cats are loving this right now. The momentum traders, the Jajarian brothers, he's in this. I think Kramer's in it. He's bullish on it. I'm bullish on it. Vegas is bullish on it. The news is bullish on it. There's all kinds of great things going on with this company right now. So we're definitely going to hit 300. There's no doubt. No doubt in my mind we're going to go to 300. But the next resistance level we got to break is going to be this 275 and 280.83, and then take it to 301. And as I was telling you on the chart on the 20-day, it could pull back right here to 255, and that's where you want to really load the boat up. Between 255 and 258, that's where I'd take my first, if I'm not in the trade and I see it at that level, jump in the trade. Resistance to break is going to be this 269.70, and if we can bust past that, like I said on the 3-year, we can take this all the way to 280.83 up to 301 long. And if we're going to be looking at options, I'd be scalping it right here at the 270 level. That's the trade I'd take. Volume is real high on it. If you had the money and you can afford it, get in the money at 260. Right there. Buy them both. I don't think you'll regret it, especially if it has a nice little knife to those levels that I was talking about. And that's going to be Boeing. So, yeah, I'm going to get back in the trade. I wanted to see a little pullback. I did real well on it in the last 2 days. And probably not as well as others, but when I'm having $500 to $1,000 days, that's a good day for me. I'm ready to go ahead and have a beer or have me a nice little meal and relax. And if I can do that consistently, that's what's going to happen in my challenge. And I do have a challenge going on. And I'll show you here. It's called Washboard Jim's Options Challenge. My goal in my challenge is to become a better swing trader, which I've been a scalper for over 15 years. I just like to take I like to buy support and sell at resistance and the breakouts, but I want to become a better swing trader. So I want to have I do have a couple long holds right now, and then I've been swinging overnight and holding trades for at least up to a week long at some certain point. But if a trade's not going in my way, I'll usually cost average down on it, or I'll get out of the trade and buy it in the dip. But if I miss the trend, I'm going to cut my losses real fast and buy the dip. I'm not going to hold on to it and hope. I'm going to get out of the trade. I'm going to wait for a better position to get back in the trade. So that's part of my challenge. And this is the 6th challenge that I have done. But this one is more into the, I want to make sure that I can swing and hold these trades a little bit longer. I just like taking profit. I don't like losing money. And if I get a nice spike of $200 or $300, I'm getting out of the trade and I'm going to play the dip. But that's how I like to trade. And but I want to try to swing these overnight swings. Like right now, I have 4 positions over the weekend. I hardly ever hold 4 positions over the weekend. Every one, 3 of them are in the money. And Baba is the one that's really down on the bottom, which I think I might have found a support level at. But I'm not, that's what I want to do. I want to become a better swing trader. So that's part of my challenge. And right now I'm up 341%. So let's go ahead and get back into another stock. So BA, like I said, if we look at that 20-day one more time, strong buy in this area, no lower than that 256.50 to 257.72, with a resistance to break at 269.70, long all the way to the 3-year chart, which is right around 280.83 to 301 period. And then she'll probably create, I'd like to see it create a channel in here in the gap. This is a gap fill, and we filled one of them right in here, and we just need to go ahead and bring it on up to this other gap, which is right around 301. Boeing. Hello, TIGR. Do you have any good energy stocks? Oh, not really. I do. I can look them up. Can you please take a look at LPTH and how much time we got? Man. We're getting close to time. So we'll do these last few tickers and call it quits. And then I'm going to go out and visit a couple friends. So we got LPTH. I think your energy stocks you got to look at are going to be like the new energy plays, the new green stocks. Oil, it's going to bounce up. Well, I went and filled my gas tank up, and it cost me almost $10 more to fill up my tank than it did a month ago. So definitely going to be putting out some extra money on gas for the next couple of years. Right there's a good solid support off that 50. Let's go ahead and clean this up, start fresh. This is LPTH. Lightpath appoints mobile technology veteran Eric Krivison to the board of directors. Lightpath Technologies has a buy rating to 550. Earnings per share miss. Still, sales were previous higher than estimated. A lot of extra expense came out when COVID hit. Some factories were shut down. Some things, still come out with higher sales is a good deal. PLTR, is that? No, I have not covered it. I'll take a look at PLTR in a little bit. PLTR. I think that's one you want me to look at. Support right in here. Then we've got a support right here. Whoop. Right there. See right in here? That little support area. Then we've got a solid buy right down here. See that? That's an ascending triangle. See that? Ascending triangle breakout. Bounced off the 200. Got a golden cross on the 3-year weekly. Got a resistance level at 354. I'm working off the, I hardly draw trend lines on the yearly, weekly 3-year, but I'm doing it. Let's go to the year here and see if I missed anything. Yep. See, we had triple top up here that couldn't break. This is something I want you to pay attention to. Let's say you were in this stock and you've seen a triple top come. A lot of times when a triple top doesn't break, it's a time to get out of the trade. Triple bottom comes into play, it's time to get into the trade. But triple tops are hard to break, very hard to break. So from that 485, it dipped all the way down to the 200. It just gave up. We do have a support level, which is now a resistance level here. But triple top is a sell signal. Don't forget it. Jot that down on paper. Once I asked Mr. Wall Street, I said, when do you like to get out of a stock? When is a good indicator for you to get out of a stock? And he told me, he said, triple tops. So once he hits his target and he develops a triple top, and he doesn't see it break, it's time to go ahead and pull your money out of the trade. It's bounced off this 200, 1, 2, 3, 4 different times. That's why I like using the SMA charts on the yearly daily. It gives me an indicator to get in the trade, and it gives me an indicator to maybe get out of the trade. So you could have got in down here at 315 once it hit that 200. So always, if you don't have a chart set up like this with these 2, maybe 3 moving averages, which would be the 20, the 50, and the 200. I mean, I religiously love this chart. I don't know. I'm not your average trader. Everything I've self-taught myself. So I don't know how the fat cats think. I don't know, my best indicators are my trend lines. These things right in here. This is my best indicator. Nobody else can draw a trend line like this. Nobody. Nobody else ever that I know of can draw these trend lines. Now, a lot of people use moving averages. They use a CCI, or they use a TTM, or the VWAP, or the Bollinger Bands, or whatever kind of tools they want to use. Mine are the trend lines. This is what I call an extended trend line pattern, and it took me more than 15 years to figure it out. But they're very accurate when it comes to finding a support and a resistance level. And I have a 5-rule program, my trend lines, I use the moving averages, I have different charts that I use the VWAP quite a bit. So I have one chart that you put up might not look the same as another chart that gives you a buy indication. If you were looking at the SMA chart, for example, on LPTH, and they're going to be totally different. And we'll go to the yearly here, 3-year. Totally different situation. You can't really see it bouncing off the 200 on here, on the EMAs. Why? Because they're a fast moving average. They move fast. SMAs are simple. They move slow. They're more simple for the mind. They're easier to find support levels. Now, if you're a day trader and you're scalping, I use them both. It all depends. I don't like this chart on the daily. I don't like it at all. I don't like the volume on it or anything like that. But I do like, when it comes to looking at the buy signal on the 200 on the SMA, I do like that. We had what you had here. We had 3 black crows. It's a buy indicator to me. 1, 2, 3 black crows. We had a spinning top that held up in the body. We almost gave up down here. Then what you have a morning star. Bam. Look what happened after that. She went ahead and bounced off that 200. Not a big move, especially low on volume. We got some divergence going on here, getting ready to squeeze. As the price goes up, the volume goes down. So we're getting ready to squeeze. That's something else and we have the RSI down here at the bottom. So we had a bunch of good indicators telling me to get into the trade off this 200. That's on the yearly daily. So you could run it back up here, I'd say to the at least to the 50. That'd be a hard resistance right there around $4. But it can easily pull back to support level at this level right in here from this previous high. Here's Darvis box. Darvis box. And I've been trading them forever, and I just didn't know what they were called. But now that I met the master of the Darvis box, I know exactly what they are. Another one right here. How do I find the Darvis box? In my opinion, I look for the body of the candle, and I try to hold the bodies of the candle, because to me that's where all the mustard is. And there you had a nice little breakout. So when you see these form like this, these are pretty positive. Then something happened here that really caused this thing to pull back to support level. Something bad, maybe a split, or let's see. But we bounced off that 200. I think we'll definitely run back up here to 4. But we're squeezing, so this could take a while. First resistance to break is going to be right up in here, right at 369. If not, it can pull back to the top of this Darvis box, right here at 322, or bounce again off this 200. LPTH. I hope you got a little bit of lesson out of that one, because I explained a lot of stuff instead of just talking about the chart itself. So, did you like that? Do you have any good energy stocks? Okay, what's UOB? Are you calling me a name? You're calling me a name, aren't you? You're the best? You're supposed to have a T in there, lunch lady. Okay, AABB. AABB. Oh, that ain't right. Asia Broadband. Ooh. Oh. This is ready. This is ready. Found a little consolidated area right in here. You're welcome. Let's change this around. Let's look at a few things here. I just want to get a look at a 3-year. We're at a 3-year high this year. I ran all the way up to 65.90. Now we've pulled back to 16. Let's see what they've got. Gold, Asian broad palm, Hispanic carrots have gold. No, crypto token. The letter of intent to acquire gold mine, production facility in Mexico. Asian providers, so they want to dig for gold. Approved stock dividend for shareholders, so they got a dividend coming out. So this is a crypto stock, right? Asian Metals achieved 16 million annual gross profit. 10 million of development program in Mexico gold. 82 million sale of girl gold. Yeah, it's got about a lot of money here. I like to know the news. Everybody knows how I like to trade. I trade off news. If it has no news, I know it's being pumped. It can also bounce off previous news that it already had. Or it can bounce off something that some insider knows that we don't know about. So on this 3-year chart, we're going to chop these lines right here on the triple top. I talked about triple tops. Right there, ooh, that's way too low. I got solid support right here. There, right there, right there. I'm using the bodies of the candles. I don't give a crap about the wicks. The wick is weak. The bodies are the strength. I'll use a wick if it's my last resort. That's why these are so accurate. If I used the wicks, it'd be all messed up. So on the 20-day chart, I want to try to find an equilibrium in here, a pivot point. It's right in here. See this? That's going to be your pivot point. So that's where we're going to turn that into a red line. And something else just popped up on that pivot point area. We run right in here to the 200 SMA on the 20-day 1 hour chart. So that's a confirmation. That's what we got to break. If we can break that 2015 area, 20 cents, we'll go up higher. Now, I like this. So far, I'm liking it. Okay? I'm liking the chart. And we had a head and shoulders. She pulled back and she gave up. She pulled back to support. She's consolidated in like a little Darvis box here to the side. And Darvis box will be something like this right in here. We're going to go to the top of that candle right in here to the body where we've had some consistency. And we're going to run it all the way down to the bottom of this and right here. So that's what you call a little Darvis box. Now, we can break out of that resistance level, and that's going to be, like I said, out that 200. If she does break out of this 17.87, 18 cent area, we go past 20. Then you can go ahead and run this baby all the way up to 29 cents. Anything beyond that's going to be a gift. You could take it to 38. So it all depends on the volume. Volume has slacked off a little bit. But I think if we broke a resistance level, it's going to be right around that 1774, 1718 area. Right there, see that? And then you got that pivot point, which is at 20 cents. And if you can bust past 20, I guarantee it, you'll take it to 29. And that's going to be AABB with a low support, no lower than this 11.32, 10 cent area. Strong buy at 10 cents. Okay? AABB. PXS. I hope that helped you out, TIGR. Kevin, I hope that helped out some on Boeing. PXS. We're going to call her quits here shortly. There's you some oil stocks at June you might want to look at. We're going to do two more, PXS and PLTR. Then I'm going to go ahead and leave. And then I'm going to do another video of a watch list of maybe 5 stocks into next week. So if you subscribe, ring that bell, you'll get my future updates on videos that Vegas and I do. PXS. This is Mr. Wall Street play. He's bullish on tankers. I think I am too, especially with the after COVID. It should get a pretty good little bounce. So resistance on the 20-day. Let's pull this up to 3 years. You know, we've had a 3-year high. So don't expect it to go to the moon, but do expect it to kind of, we've got some bullish pattern going on right in here. We've got a resistance to break right here, right at 171.91. Whoa. Let's go back a little farther. Let's just see if something here. Damn it. We're going back 20 years. Even on a 20-year chart, you're not getting that high. This thing wasn't around 20 years ago. 2015. So we've got looking at back since 2015. We've had a solid support down here at 75 cents. See that? See that? See that? And then she's starting to break out. Resistance to break is going to be this number right in here, 155. See where she stopped at? That's why I'm saying the bodies of these candles mean everything. Then you had a double wick top up in here, so I'm not going to mess with that. So that's the 5-year. Hard resistance up here right around 320. So if you're in this trade, I think you're in a good spot. But we got to break this resistance level here at 155. If we can bust past 155, we can run it all the way up to this area right up in here, right around the 260 area. And that's going to be another hard support level, hard resistance. And if we get past 260, take it to 320. Anything beyond 320 is a gift. I'm going to spell that out. G-I-F-T. Gift. Then you could take it to 433.45. Then anything above that is a present. I mean, it did run all the way to 1222 up here. There's a bearish candle. Somebody from Texas. Let me see. Can you talk right now? Call me later. Okay. So low support 75.25. A hard resistance to break. And I'm going to fine tune this because I think we can find some equilibrium, maybe a support level to buy it at a better entry here. Oh, damn, man. So I'll call you later. $130. Then solid buy down here at $115. Let's pull up the 20-day. I'm bullish on this stock. Do not take me wrong. Higher lows. We'll extend this to the right. And this is going to be like our solid support. See how she pulled back right to that trend line, held, then had that big bounce on after hours. So what's going on in the news here? There's nothing here in the news lately. Industrial companies are trending treasury yields. 12 industrial stocks. PX shows registration for 14 million share common offering. So it did have an offering on 3/1, which means it's registered. They had a closing of a placement common stock down here of 25 million. So they're gathering up cash. They're getting ready for a run. CVI investment reports a 13G filing of 8% stake, and so somebody's investing money in it on the 3rd. So there's a lot of good things going on here. Holds that trend, solid buy at 160. Solid buy here between 155 and 160. Resistance to break at 201. Long to 320. Now, I like the stock. I'd almost get a starter position, and then if she started breaking past 201, I'd load up. That's PXS. And PLTR is the last one we're going to talk about. Then I might talk about one more, and I bet you nobody can guess what it is. Can anybody in the room guess what my ticker I'm going to talk about next? You get one guess. At 25 million at 175. Good to know. That means that could hold at 175, right? Okay, let's look at a yearly chart. PLTR has had a nice little run. Now, I played this trade perfectly last time I traded it, and we're going to look at it again. I'm bullish on this stock, big time. We had a pullback support here at 23.18, and it bounced on up. So we have a hard resistance right up in here. I'm going to say right around $30 area. So we're going to pull up the 20-day. I'm very bullish on this stock. I think it was Bass Cat's one that really pointed this out and caught my interest on it. And I've traded it. I don't think I've lost once on it. But I buy at support and I sell at resistance. I won't have it any other way. Right now we're bullish on it. We've had a good little 4-day run. We got an equilibrium pivot point area right down here at 25.44 area. In fact, I got to erase one of these lines. We'll erase this one here. 25.44. Actually, I need to lower that a little bit. See, it's kind of hard to say because we had this pattern right in here. So that's probably why I drew that in there. We'll bring it down a little bit lower. Then I'm going to color that in. This has really got me between, wow, what's going on here? There we go. So that's going to be like your first, that's got to hold. That area right there, a strong buy at 23.18. Very strong buy. Set you alert there at 23.18. Let's raise it up just a little bit to 20. You know why I do that? Because a lot of times it just won't touch that support, but it'll touch that little bit higher support level. So that's why I do that. I've saved myself. Plus, it's a precursor of letting me know to get in the trade a little bit. It's an idea of maybe we hit that and it can pull back a little bit more, but I'm ready and I'm set once that alert goes off. Then we got an equilibrium in this channel. This is a Darvis box. So I would like to change the color, but you got a sideways channel that went on for 2 weeks. Then we had the breakout. So more or less, this is what you call a Darvis box right in here. Then she went ahead and had it, and she broke out of that box. See that? That's a sideways pattern. A lot of times that's a bullish pattern. You know, it went down a couple times below it, but this is a good one because it lasted more than 2 weeks. There are many times you could have scalped that for a buck. For a buck or two. 1, 2, 3. 3 times it could have scalped that to resistance level. That's why I'm so hot on buying at support and selling at resistance. Somebody would have held this trade all that long time. I've been in and out of it 3 times, tripled my money to the same person that held that just once. So we got to break resistance at 27.19. If we can break this 27.19, 28.96 with a hard resistance here at 30.23. And it's a very strong buy here at 23.20 if it dips down below the Darvis box. But it'd be nice to hold support level in this channel between 24.95 and 25.44. Tesla, you got it right, Robert. You guys got it right. Tesla is the last one we're going to talk about. I have a great track record on Tesla. And Tesla killed me last month. I lost over $1,200. I'm still scratching my head over stupid I didn't follow the trend on this stock. But let me see here. Here's one where I got in at 169 and sold it at 162. I took a $7 loss. And I talked about that in the room because I didn't see the bullish pattern. So that 169, 162. And then I got in it at 785 and sold it for 880. Then I got in it at 209 and sold it for 525. And then I bought it at 1075. Is this where I had my trouble? Yeah, I bought it 1075. What the hell happened here? I can't understand what happened right there. Then I scalped it for $50 here Friday. $3 to $3.25. Then I got in here at $4.50, got out at $5.70. I got in here at $5.18 and sold it at $6.25. Actually, I bought it 3 different times. I bought it at $6.49, $5.45, and $4.35, and sold it at $6.40. So that's the cost average down where I got it in at the wrong time. But I'm always looking for reversals on this trade. So next week, I'm going to be looking at well, first let's look at the chart. This is going to be the last one I'm going to talk about. This is a scalping trade at these levels for me. It really had a real strong pullback down here. It had the 5-day sell-off, which I talk about a lot, my 5-day rule. And then we had that nice bounce back up. Then she's consolidated and found a little support level right in here. Oh, I'd say right around the 661.78 level. Whoops. Right there. Then another one right in here. Bam, right there. Right on that 200-day. So Tesla's a tricky one to trade. You got to be real patient with it. You got to let it decide when it's going to start to turn up. Usually it has pretty sharp sell-offs in the morning, and then it'll retrace back up. But this stock's had a pretty good sell-off here since what? Let's go back 3 months. We had that $900 high. And then she pulled all the way back to 539. That's a pretty steep drop. And I was scalping this all the way. And then here's where I got screwed. Right in here on these five red days. There's my 5-day rule comes in effect. And it was pretty good on this one here. That lower support right there at 562. So pulled back to 20-day. Well, I think we're going to get back up here to 741. But we got to break resistance level, and that's going to be where we had this top right here at 717. Solid support is going to be that dirty number I don't like to say, but I'm going to say it. 666. 61 is going to be a very good place to get into the trade, and then try to break resistance level right here at 702.53. If we can bust past that 702.53, we will take it to the higher area of 717, and then have an equal balance up here right around 741, and hopefully that'll stay. Kathy Woods is still bullish on this, and I'm bullish on it. It's number one in my book in the EV car sector. Nobody can tell me any different than that. It's the Thomas Edison of the EV cars. You're going to hear a lot of people come out and say, oh, this one's better, this one's better, this one's better. I don't think they know what they're talking about. I personally like Tesla, and I think it's the innovator. It's going to be like the Mercedes Benz or to the car industry. So low support 668, resistance to break 702, and then we'll try to get it to 717. If it busts past that, we'll definitely get to 741. But I can't see it go. I can see it going lower because everybody picks on Tesla. You got two different kind of traders that look at this stock. Then you got the third. You got the one that's a fundamental trader that just does not understand why this stock is up. They don't know that it's a tech company. They don't know that it's a solar company. They don't know that it's into space. They don't know that it's into all kinds of stuff. Chips. It's the original EV. It's the one that busted it loose. It's the one that... So you've got your fundamental traders that just trade on fundamentals. They don't understand why it's up. It's not a fundamental stock. It's a momentum stock. Then you got your technical traders that trade off technical analysis and momentum. That's me. And then you got the well-wishers that just want to follow somebody else's opinion. And I know many traders that are like that can't trade this stock because they don't do the technical part of the chart. It's not a fundamental trade. It's far from that. It's a technical trade. It's a chip maker. It's everything. And who else? It's blockchain. I mean, look at the run it had when he introduced it. He got into Bitcoin. I mean, there's a lot more to come with Tesla than anybody can ever imagine. And I think there'll be more Teslas than any other car running in the world. It's my opinion. They're going to make it economical for the middle class, which these other car companies are way overpriced. But they're into luxury, so they'll have their own little market. You know, they'll have the rich people buying them. But I think it's more suitable for the middle class, Tesla is. And that's it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this session. And always remember, hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell for future updates. And I want to point out our website one more time. Don't forget about TrendSpider. You know, we have our affiliate link, TrendSpider, if you want to join and learn how to. I like TrendSpider because it helps me identify patterns and stuff like that. And I also like to use it because they do have tools you can use over here. They have an automatic Fibonacci if you want it automatically Fibonacci set up, which you get right in here. And you can do it on different time frames. You know, if you want to go to the daily 1 minute, there's your Fibonacci set up. So yeah, that's always a nice little thing to have. Hit that Twitter button, it's Stock Twits, Pinterest, and I wish you all a great day. Robert, we'll see you Monday. Make sure that you subscribe and ring that bell for my future videos that I'm going to put out, and I'd appreciate that too. Y'all have a great day, and I'm going to be signing out once I throw this motivational video in here.